And we're back. Pretty much right where I left off. Well, not quite. I did a little bit of prep work here. I'm building a spine up here so that I can split out my power grid. What I've decided to do is I have two power grids. There's this one that's going to power the base, well, the lower half of the map, and one that's going to power the top half. So I'm just going to run a power cable right up here, plug it into the top half of the grid, and then I'm just going to disconnect in the middle somewhere. Well, that's the plan. So I'm putting in a transport spine that hopefully avoids all these plants. I want to keep all these plants alive as long as possible. Or, well, forever. Yeah. I'm also putting in transport tubes because, well, why not? I might as well get my dupes there faster rather than slower. Yeah. Now, as well as that, I've reactivated my slime a little off-gassing thing. Now, this is a very simplistic setup. Okay, it's a very dumb setup. There's far more efficient ways of doing this, but I'm basically going to let the slime off-gas so I can collect myself some more clay so that I can make some more ceramic. I've burned through quite a bit of it. I've also queued up a bunch more supercoolant, insulation, visco gel, thermium. I'm just basically going to produce it all. At some point, I'm going to be decommissioning my rockets, and I'd like to have all my resources as ready to go as possible. Now, I'm also mining out the last of the wolframite. It turns out there was a little bit of wolframite left down here that I had completely forgot about or just not seen, so I'm going to take that as well. More resources, the better. So, this is going to be about splitting up my power grid. Well, that's the plan anyway. Simplest thing to do is I'm actually creating a little vacuum room here for this would otherwise leak cold in the surrounding environment, and I'm going to have to try and warm up those plants, so I don't want to be leaking cold anywhere. So I literally just stuck in two visco gel airlocks, one either end, and now I'm just going to pump out the gas. Fairly simple, straightforward plan. Also, I decided these gas pipes down here were going to, well, they were going to vent a lot of heat. There's 200-degree natural gas going through there. So I just chucked down lots and lots and lots of visco gel airlocks everywhere. I even stuck a visco gel airlock down here that's sort of a weird downwards one. Whatever, it works. And then I'm just vacuuming out this whole area as well, just to make sure there's no temperature transfer. Oh, and I also am vacuuming out this area as well. Seems like a decent idea to me. Now, do we have a diver's lung? Biohazardous dire lung? Yes, we do. Yeah, and I can't remember what we're on at the moment. I think I got another one in the meantime. Is that... Yeah, new recruit 13. Yeah, new recruit 13, welcome to the fold. So this dupe will... Actually, they've got nothing wrong with them. They're actually perfectly acceptable. Perfect. Skills. Actually, a few promotions need to be done as well. I've got several dupes that are... Well, a few dupes. How many dupes have we got ready? 1, 2, 3. We have 4 dupes ready for promotion. And a few dupes... Actually, that dupe... what's their athletics at? I basically let them run on the wheel until their athletics and tinkering hits 20. So all of these ones are actually ready to go. How are you looking? 12 athletics? No, you can stay in the oven a little bit longer. Same with you. You more research. I put them into research first because it increases their skill gain, so they actually max out on tinkering and athletics just a little bit faster. So the first 3 points you really want to get them into astronomy if you want to get them useful. Actually, one thing I should probably point out if we go back to the home base there. Where's that new dupe? New recruit number 13. Okay, watch their movement speed in comparison to the other dupes. We'll actually slow this down a bit so you can get a good idea. It takes them forever to get up that ladder until they change their mind and go somewhere else. But yeah, they can't keep up with the other dupes. That's why I don't let them outside of the base. Until they actually get at least up to Exosuit Engineer, they're going to get a 60% debuff to movement speed on top of that. All horrible. Let's get some promotions out of the way with. So first up, we've got LTL King. LTL King has been helping me out by basically doing up all those indexes that you see at the end. So if you've ever seen any index built into the description, yeah, that wasn't me. I never went through my own video and actually got the index done up. So dog's body, you're a dog's body out, LTL. Thanks very much for all the indexing you put up. It's helped so many people, I'd say, when they come back to actually find something in my horrible mess of a video. So your dupe has been assigned as a dog's body out, and we'll be doing quite a lot of farming, wild farming for the base. Where were we? Dog's body out. 5. Damn, there's so many dupes at this point. Where's number 5 gone? Yeah, there we go. LTL King. There is your new suit. I hope you enjoy in good health. And promotion. Next up, we got Teneba. Teneba? It took me a while to figure out how to pronounce that one. Yeah, I actually had to Google it. It basically means a made-up tech term, I think, or maybe Google's lying to me. Now, Teneba was the one that had the 12 glorious rockets that were running around the map. Yes, if you remember that, it was the giant base full of carbon dioxide and 12 rockets built into a deep dish rocket silo. Enjoy your new suit, Teneba. Promotion acquired. Next up, we have Preet. Preet was the one that provided us with that beautiful base that was composed entirely of allergic dupes, fed only on bristleberries because, why not? That's just absolute insanity. Thanks very much for sharing your base. Promotion acquired, Preet. You have graduated from the School of Hamster Wheel. Next up, we have Bradley Bowers, promoted to Beastie. Bradley was the one that provided us that double volcano tamer combined with a bunch of really weird overflow piping that gave me headaches. Congratulations. So you are now a member of a base that is probably going to crash and burn horribly after I eventually figure out how to get enough dupes up and running if I can hire them fast enough. And next up we have Valendros. Now Valendros gave us that beautiful, beautiful base that was entirely too large and entirely too perfect and was very, very scary to look at. Yes, you are a beastie in this. I suppose beastie kind of, well, suits the theme right there. Well, actually, well, congratulations on the new suit, and congratulations on having a beast of a base. We'll limit you from getting in there now, so you can't go back in anymore. Anyway, uh, thanks to thanks to everyone who sent in their bases and shared all their stuff for the community. Checking out all those bases it's very time consuming, but dear lord, if it isn't so enjoyable. Now all of you should be free to go and help out with the rest of the building projects and take care of all the beasties or all the farming that's going to be going on. Now, let's get back to actually splitting up this power grid and getting this whole base completed. So, next up, massive power spine. Here we come. So, I'm just going to run this all the way up here and then realize I have also left this right in the way. You know what? We'll just put a quick thingy there. That'll be grand. We'll come back and finish that off in a minute. Or, well, I'll forget to finish it off and then come back in a minute. I need to put this up all the way past my base and then run it over the top, or you see, here's the problem. I don't want to demolish any plants, and yet I don't want to actually put it. I want to put it somewhere where I can at least counteract the negative decor. That was the plan. We're going to split this power wire up here instead. Have it run across there. Yeah, there we go. And I think I've already ran the automation cable. Yeah, I'm going to demolish this one and run the whole power cable, this big heavy wire, all the way through there. Will it destroy the decor in this area? Yes, it most definitely will. However, we do have access to ooh, what are you doing? We do have access to a class, God knows how high, artist, and that artist will be the one putting in an awful, awful lot of statues everywhere along the way. So, I'll cut back in a bit. I'm actually going to go around on a big statue spree for this entire area. Some people might say that using this many statues to cover the electrical power wire is a little bit overkill, and actually they'd be right. I'm probably not going to have many dupes coming this direction, and considering how high their decor is, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But I do have standards, so I'm just going to pepper this whole area in lots and lots of granite statues, just to make sure that the power wire doesn't cause any negative effects on my dupes. Now, as to actually hooking up this power wire into the main grid, here's the thing about that. What I should really do to be absolutely extra careful is I should I'm going to plug into the grid here, and then the bottom half of the grid I'm going to plug into the lower network. Now I should really get out a calculator and figure out how much power everything is drawing in the top half, how much power is drawing in the bottom half, and figure out exactly where to sever it so I get a decent spread of power across both, maybe an even power draw. That would be the smart thing to do. Instead, I'm just going to eyeball it and sever the power spine in a rough location, probably somewhere about here, and see if that works. Then if I don't get any overloads and the grids are looking nice, well, then we'll know it worked. It's too much effort to try and figure out how much power is being drawn from one area or the other. Now, as for this down here, how's the actual natural gas looking? Okay, so we've got full backup on the top layer, full backup on the second layer, full backup on the third layer, and the fourth layer has actually started to back up fully as well. So we've got 4 layers of them running just fine, and then only a smattering on the bottom 2. Now, a wonderful suggestion was, why don't I load balance these? As in, take these final 2 here and load balance them with just a couple of bridges. So use some bridges to actually split the flow. That way I can get rid of this horrible mess of power cabling down here. Where was my power cabling? Yeah, these power overlays. I can basically get rid of this horrible mess of wiring down here, put them both, one of them each row on a different grid, just using a straight through cable, and then it'll be fine. So long as the gas is split evenly, then the power will be split evenly. It's actually a very smart plan. I'm going to have to do that. Now, before I do go connecting up the grid, I should probably point out one of the major issues that has occurred. Well, not a major issue, just an annoyance I have to deal with. Well, the first one was I got germs in here ages ago. Ages and ages ago, germs showed up in here. I think it was before I actually even got this set up. So to kill the germs, I came up with a smart plan. I just stopped this, well, technically smart plan. I stopped this recirculator that was actually dumping chill from down here into the hot water up here. So that hot water's got quite hot, and that killed any germs that were in there. And then this down here is getting quite cold, which is starting to kill off the germs down here. One of the side effects, though yeah, it hasn't quite killed them all off yet. Once these all hit it, once this hits about 5 degrees around the entire tank, all the germs will just die off. Take a cycle or two, but now the problem was this cold water has been pumped in here, and it's stifled all these thimble reeds, as in their body temperature is now below safe living, which is 22 degrees, which is really hard to do, but I managed to do it. So now my polluted water is backing up. This is the point where infinite water storage would be quite handy, but we don't work that way. So that means I've got to do something about this. And well, my reflex response was to stick in some space heaters, and it's slowly actually getting some of them up, but not all of them. I mean, how are these guys? So the oxygen's 28 degrees. It's like there's 2 layers of temperature there. I suppose the cold water inside the pipes is actually chilling out. I may actually have to just tepidize this entire tank. I can dump a tepidizer in here, drive the temperature of the water up to 70 degrees, and that will kill all the germs. Might be my fastest way just to kill all those germs off. They're not actually causing me a problem. It's more just an annoyance I want to deal with. So I think we have no real choice at this point but to hook this back up. Namely because if I leave this unattended, it's going to cause a horrible overflow issue. No, I'm not going to waste ceramic on that. I've actually managed to burn through so much ceramic. I'm trying to make more. Yeah, you can go there. So we'll start that water flow, and I'm probably going to dump in a tepidizer once I've split the electrical grid. And that should hopefully get those plants back up and running again. Now, splitting the electrical grid, this is the fun part. Let's go to the power overlay and zoom out a bit. So currently there's 2 grids. Grid 1, which feeds the sour gas boiler, which is giving us all our power at the moment. So we want to keep that one up and running. Then we've got grid 2, which basically is feeding everything else, the entire base. Now I want to take grid 2, and I've put this line from grid 2 all the way up here and fed it into the main grid. It's also fed in down here, feeding into the main grid. Actually, have I hooked it up yet? No, I have not. So all we'll do is we'll grab a heavy conductive wire, throw it in there, and now it's hooked up that point. Now, so what we need to do now is disconnect this. Yeah, I'm really worried this thing is going to break horribly. So we'll deconstruct this wire here. Actually, we'll just deconstruct one just in case something goes horribly wrong. Once that's disconnected, we'll still be running on. Grid 2 will still be powering everything, or everything except the sour gas boiler. But then what we're going to do is we've got grid 1 down here, the one that we want to take over the bottom half of the map. And we can connect this up in here, but only after we've disconnected this a little bit. Actually, let's make sure the power's up. Yep, power's still all good. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sever the power spine that's in the middle of the map, somewhere over here. And after I do that, after I've queued it up, I'm going to get ready to plug this in. Once I plug this in, that will actually restore power, and theoretically everything should continue on as normal, assuming I've split the grid in the right point. If I don't split it in the right point, I'm going to be drawing too much power on one of them, and, well, I could be drawing too much power on the sour gas grid, and then things will start to burn out. So I'm going to be a bit conservative here. So let's grab up the power spine overlay. Yeah, I never thought I'd be doing this when I started this map. This map was supposed to be just a fun playthrough, not go too crazy. Yeah. You, heavy conductive wire, we are going to deconstruct you. Now, once that is deconstructed, we're going to pause the game, pop over, and reconnect the grid on the other side. Let's put that to normal play. And come on. Okay, so now everything down here is on its own separate grid, which is not actually drawing power. Oh, yeah, the batteries here. Yeah, power's plummeting as anticipated. However, so long as we hook this up over back here. Oh, heavy conductive wire. Very good. Simplest way to check. Let's go find that battery bank again. Where did I put you? Way over here. Perfect. So we have a fully functional battery bank. Wow, there's a lot of evolved meat in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's, there's actually a fair chunk of... Damn, that creature's been doing a lot of evolving in there. Uh, so, power network has been split. Now let's see what kind of power jaw we're looking at. Power spine. Ooh, that is... Yeah, that's pretty good. 10 to 14. And power spine over here. Much lower. Okay, so this one we can use to actually expand and start putting in some more ridiculously heavy power draw things. Not just yet, but yes, perfect, perfect. Power produced, power consumed, potential power consumed. Okay, that is just excellent. No worries there. And over here we've got potential power consumed 12.97. The only reason it's 12.97 is because of the sheer amount of what the hell do you call them? Transport tube grid networks. That is actually the perfect place to sever it. Wait, oh. Yeah, okay, we'll just do a little... Actually, yeah, I'm going to clean that up a bit. We'll get rid of you, just to make sure we've got a nice clean break there. Now, that means the whole grid is split, but I do need to do a few things that are not really camera compatible. When I was playing around with trying to actually split gas flows evenly so I could put 50-50 in each pipe, but you require an awful lot of space to do it in. It's actually really awkward to do in a compact position. I tried. I just could not figure out a way. If you figured out a way that you can combine two gas pipes and get 50-50 flow out, bear in mind I don't have a lot of space to work with here, but if you do figure out a way, please send me on a video or a save game file or even a picture if you've got it. I'd love to know how to split these evenly without taking up too much space, because as it is, it seems that the power method of just the SpaghettiOs here seems to be my best way of doing it that doesn't actually mess up with the build too much. Now that that's all done and we've got the power grid split, next up you'd think would be, well, let's get the slicksters out of the way, because slicksters would seem to be my way of recycling carbon dioxide and getting myself even more natural gas, which is kind of what I want to do. Also, how's my petroleum looking? Yeah, my petroleum levels are starting to go up again since the big draw. I've also turned off the polymer presses. I don't want any more of those kicking in. But I can't actually expand my my slickster farms just yet. If I consume all the carbon dioxide, it's going to cause me a knock-on problem. The knock-on problem is up here, actually. Where are we? Yeah, the knock-on problem is over here. I'm using the excess carbon dioxide to actually provide cooling to all these areas. In fact, I've even limited down a bit further because I was actually starting to run out of carbon dioxide to dump in here. I barely caught it. Temperatures, yeah, they're all looking good. So what I want to do is I want to upgrade this entire section. I mean, no faffing about, I want to turn this into regolith harvesting central. I need to harvest as much regolith as possible, which means I need to enlarge the regolith harvesting area. These scanners I don't care about so much. The naked scanner, I'm pretty sure that's a requirement. I basically disabled the auto repair on a bunch of these doors, and after I disabled them, I then turned off this scanner, and I let these run for a while, and basically one of the doors got smashed. So as far as I can tell, one of these is still necessary. People were telling me it was not. Some people weren't sure, but I've tested it, and I can't guarantee because honestly, it takes hundreds of cycles to isolate the problem. But yeah, as far as I can tell, you definitely still need a naked scanner. Now, I've got my ceramic production ramped up, and time for some more power consumption. But before we get to all of that, there's a couple of interesting things I forgot to point out, and a few mistakes I made along the way, actually. One was someone was suggesting I should put in breaks here, as in put in insulated tiles, like the odd insulated tile, one here, one here, one here, one here, etc. along, to cause breaks in this to help with the temperature transfer. Now, I was going to test it, but this seems to have worked out just fine, and I don't want to actually go messing with the design mid-process, so it seems to work, and I can see there, you can actually see where the temperature is exchanging and changing right there on this counterflow, so it seems to be working out just fine. But one really interesting thing I like to point out was down here. You notice all of these tiles here are like 46. This is igneous rock. I mean, it's not exactly the best insulator in the world, but even at what, 45.5 C there, So it's only 45 degrees, and the actual supercoolant itself is minus 229. Yet it's not changing temperature at all. However, this stuff over here is down to minus 230. So why is this stuff made of the exact same material reacting so differently and absorbing so much chill out of the box? Debris. The obsidian that's sitting there, the leftover raw material that got left in here when I was cleaning this place out, it's actually absorbing the chill. And there's different heat mechanics or heat transfer mechanics, it seems, for debris that's sitting on a tile. Debris does not exchange heat very well at all. It is terrible at exchanging heat. It just turns out that debris is better at exchanging heat with insulated tiles than liquids are. It's something to do with the debris isn't affected by the insulated modifier or something. I'm not sure. There's something going on here, but leaving debris inside one of your cooling or hot chambers, this would be more important if you say you left it inside a hot box. So let's just say, where was it? Yeah, say something like this over here. If I'd left debris in the bottom of this, it would be transferring a lot of heat into that tile, and that tile would be transferring it down into there. Doesn't matter in this bottom section though, this is meant to be chill. But same for any of these oxygen production devices and stuff like that. Leaving anything down here, probably a bad idea. It's just one of those little quirks of the game mechanics. Now, if you've been on the Discord, you probably know what I'm about to build next. I basically want to expand this into much larger regolith collection, and I've been doing some experimenting around with actually capturing the carbon dioxide that comes off meteors, because if I can capture that carbon dioxide, I can feed some slicksters, maybe get some more oil and natural gas going on, which will give me more water. And I think I found a design that will work quite well. Well, it has in testing. We'll see how it works in reality. So right now I'm just building another layer of bunker doors. What we want to do is increase the amount of capture space we have. Now, of course, this will render a bunch of these scanners obsolete, but I'm not going to shed any tears over that. Now, actually, let's get some obsidian in here. We got plenty of this stuff still. Yes, I know I ran out one time. Oh, actually, cancel you. Yeah, but this is going to be a huge project. Anything to do with space normally is. What we're going to have to do is we're going to be drywalling everything from here up to the top of the map. Literally every single tile in here is going to be drywalled. Mafic rock? Yeah, I think we'll start with mafic rock and go from there. That's sort of the plan right now, is to drywall everything. Try and imagine every single tile in this entire area covered in drywall. And then you've got an idea of how much construction project I'm actually about to partake in. Kind of ridiculous. In fact, then I'm also going to have to put in the scaffolding, the ladders, all that stuff. Yet this is going to take a long time. There is no need for you to see any of that. All you need to know is it's going to be a very, very long project. It's probably going to take me too long. 1 second. Didn't know you could lay drywall behind bunker doors, can you? Nope, no you cannot. Alright, so the plan will be lots and lots of drywall, lots and lots of laddering, and actually I don't want to finish those off until they've got the actual floor in at least, just so I have access. Alright, so I'm just going to skip forward a bit until we've got a chunk of this done. Okay, so that's a good start on the build. This is going to be the bottom half. I'm going to have to demolish all this stuff up here to make room for it, but we're going to be automating basically regolith harvesting and carbon dioxide harvesting. Now, one quirk that's come to my attention, it was pointed out to me by someone in the comments whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it was to do with these, 1 second, printables. No, wrong one. Diver's lung? No, of course there's no diver's lung. Damn you. I actually got one diver's lung there a while back, but it was a diver's lung with allergies. I was like, nope, 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 nope. I'm depending on the plants. Now, oh yeah, it's to do with the scanners. It seems scanners basically, they increase your chances of catching things further away. But one of the problems with the scanners, it seems, is if you have, say, all the scanners hooked up together and they detect meteor showers at 200 seconds out and you close the doors, the moment the door closed, the scanners lose their ability to detect them coming. They go, oh wait, there's no meteors coming anymore, and then they close the doors. I mean, they open the doors again. And what this results in is your doors closing and then opening because you have too many scanners. So your best bet is to put in some sort of timer to delay them so that you close it at the minimum time required. It does not work very well with my method of actually pumping carbon dioxide everywhere because that has a tendency to interfere with scanners. Actually, it's not doing it at the moment. What's going on? No, I definitely have carbon dioxide being spit out. Give me gas. I just suppose there's so little carbon dioxide, it doesn't seem to be causing any problems. As my... yeah, everything's pretty toasty, but that's kind of to be expected. I probably should have put some sort of filter on them to actually slow down when they actually open and close the doors. I'm sure I've gotten a few meteors that have snuck through. Actually, no, I couldn't because I have that area locked off. Dupes can't get in there. Well, It's just something to be aware of. Well, I'm just going to cut down on the amount of scanners I use in future because well, I don't really need them that much. As long as I have enough just to catch it before it hits, I'm good with that. So I am going to decommission a whole bunch of these. I'm going to cut back to just basically my naked scanner for a while. Um, well, maybe not just yet, but I'll leave this one here for now. But this is basically going to become one giant regolith slash carbon dioxide catching pit. This is going to take a long while, though. This is going to be a short episode, not because I'm not doing much, but because there's nothing really much to watch here. This is just going to be a massive set of drywalling, laddering. I'm going to have to tear down all of this infrastructure here. I'm going to have to put in a whole bunch of mining down there. Yeah, let's just skip forward a little bit more and see how this shapes up. So as you can see, the project is growing ever more and more in scope. This design is, okay, I will admit, completely ridiculous, but 100 dupes is also ridiculous without exploits. So to get the 100 dupes, I need to squeeze every single resource I can out of everything. Why did that hit? Oh, great. I disconnected my automation, didn't I? No. Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Let's disconnect all of those, shall we? Actually, let's make these all priority 7 commands. Disconnect you, and disconnect you. Does that mean that one will get to Shane? Oh. Let's just disconnect. Just deconstruct them all. Quick, emergency. There's going to be an enormous repair bill for this. Ugh. Oh, come on, seriously. Do you know how long I spent building all of that? Oh, they entombed that. Okay, are the doors going to close? Please tell me the doors are just going to close. Anytime now. Come on, dupes. Seriously, someone deconstruct that. Okay. Okay, so yeah, my repair bill is going to be a little bit higher than I was expecting for this. But yeah, them's be the breaks. That's what I get for deconstructing a bunch of stuff without seeing what I was doing. And it will we'll skip forward a bit. Yep, there's no need for you to see this. Oh god, that's so much repairs. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip forward past this bit. You don't really need to see this embarrassment. So it's looking a lot better. Though, yeah, I can't remember the last time I've seen a meteor shower break through my defenses, and that is just horrifyingly damaging. Yeah, I'm glad I prepared for meteor showers before because that's not something you can deal with all the time. Dear Lord, they do. That's just one shower and the amount of damage it did. Holy jeebus. Oh yeah, I'm going to let this finish repairing up and we're going to start on the bottom level. And once I've got the outline of the bottom level done, I think we'll call it a day at that because I'm running out of time here. This does take an awful lot of time to film these. I don't know how many cycles we're in already. But back to you in 1 minute once we got the bottom layer prepped. And there's what the outline of this other monstrosity is going to look like. But hey, 100 dupes takes a lot of effort, so this will be our regolith capture and our carbon capture at the same time. It should help us out with both feeding our dupes with lots of regolith for the shovels and actually feeding our slicksters as well, so we can get a little bit more oil, and that oil we can then turn into more water. So I'm going to cut this out here. Sorry that there's no major projects to do. Well, no major projects finished, but this does take an awful lot of actual in-game time to get all of these all set up and configured. But next episode, I think we'll get this fired up and running, and we can see how she runs in a survival mode. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.